Very happy Liverpool, 2 points clear as you can see. Top of the table for the first time since the 1st of October as the race for this trophy continues. A man who has lifted it already, of course, for Liverpool is their captain, Jordan Henderson. We're delighted to say he joins us live here, pitchside at Anfield. Very well done. You always like to beat Manchester United, but to beat them again in such fashion, how did that feel tonight?
Yeah, very good. Another big performance from us. You know, United aren't in the best moment, but they've got quality players that can hurt you, especially on the counter-attack. So we felt as though it could be a dangerous game, but if we were on it 100% and focused on the job in hand, then it felt as though we could win the game, and we managed to do that in the end comfortably.
Another incredibly fast start, 2 up inside 21 minutes.
Yeah, it was a big start from us. The crowd were amazing right from the beginning. And yeah, the performance didn't let them down. A couple of early goals, and we played some great football, especially in the first half.
Jordan, you've played with some exceptional midfielders over your career so far. Thought Thiago was different class today. Just tell us what's different about him, because he looks so unique to a fan.
Yeah, he's a fantastic football player. You know, I don't have to speak much about him. You can see how good he is technically. His awareness. It's what he's done in his career. You know, I can remember playing against him when I was really young and couldn't get near him, so that's the key. You know, if you go in ones and twos, you can get picked off, but I thought tonight counter press, especially first half, was very, very good. Suffocates the other team, and when you do that, it's hard for them to then get out, and you sort of gain the momentum. And I felt as though that was top level today.
At the start of the second half, is it difficult when you've dominated a game? I think United only had 24% possession in that first half. You're 2-0 up. How'd you go again? Because you had a spell there where they got at you a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they changed a little bit at half time, and we had to adapt a little bit. And yeah, again, we didn't start the second half great. I think they got a corner early on, but after that, I thought we worked it out, played some great stuff, and scored some more good goals. And in the end, like I said, it was a comfortable win for us.
Jordan, I'm fascinated as well at this stage of the season in 4 competitions. We're mid-April now as well. Everybody, virtually, Firmino a little not today, but everybody's fit. What's the secret behind that? Is the way you train, the way your dietitians, or I mean, it's uncanny to get to this stage of the season and have everybody fit, playing so many games that you've played.
Yeah, I feel as though since January, you know, we had a few injuries before that, and then players in African Nations Cup. But then since that break and we come back, I feel as though we've used the squad really well. You know, managers rotated a lot, especially midfield, and yeah, you don't really like it so much as players. You want to be playing all the time, but you can see the benefits of that for the team, and the energy levels has been high, and that's worked really well for us. And if we are going to keep performing and keep playing to the highest level right from now to the end of the season, we're going to need everyone. And
is this the best squad you've ever? Because we've often thought that your 11 or maybe your 14, 15 over recent seasons has been exceptional. Now it looks like there's 18, 19 or even more. It looks like the best squad you've ever had here.
Yeah, I think it looks really strong because, like you said, everybody's fit. You know, the last couple of seasons, especially last season, we had a lot of injuries, and the squad looked pretty thin. But now everybody's fit. You know, some of the lads that aren't even making the squads, who have been training really good, who are top-level players, and that just shows the strength and depth that we've got. But we're going to need everyone, like I said, from now to the end of the season if we want to finish strong.
And I think that's part of your role as captain. I think you're brilliant at that as well. Is when you've got such a brilliant squad of players, there's going to be people disappointed and missing out on big games, especially this start. With these last 7, 8, 9 games, big games you've got. Is that a big part you feel to really build these lads up as well, to go to them, their arm around the shoulder, these young lads who are desperate to play? Do you feel that's a big part of you and Millie, especially in Van Dijk?
Yeah, and it's not easy, you know, when you're not playing. You're in big games, you know, as you know, you want to be playing all the time. You feel really good. But at the end of the day, like the manager, you can't argue with the manager. You know, he knows what he's doing, and you get on with it. Yes, if you look at someone and you feel as though they're a bit down, you've got to get your arm around them and say, listen, we're going to need everyone, and that's a big part of the leaders within the group. But I feel as though that's a big plus this season, how everybody's reacted when they haven't been playing, when they've then come on or when they've started, they've made a big impact and a big difference. And that's been a huge part of the season so far, and we're going to need that right till the end.
And just finally, you talk about reacting. I know it's one game at a time, but you've played first this time. You're top of the league. It's over to City when you've done your job, and they play 24 hours later.
Again, you can't waste energy on thinking about City. You know, they're a fantastic team, and it's going to be really difficult from now to the end of the season. But all we can do is focus on what we can do, you know, and that's perform every single game, and then see where we are at the end of the season, and that's all we can do really.
Well, you've done it again tonight in emphatic fashion. Thanks very much indeed for joining us again. Good to see you.
Well done, Jordan. Well done, mate. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks. Jordan Henderson live for you here at Anfield. And you made a good point there. His experience, his leadership's an important cog in this wheel, isn't it?
Well, you look at the difference between these two squads now. We talk about leaders in the Manchester United group. Can't think of any. There's none that stand out. You look around this Liverpool team, James Milner there, not even playing sub. Jordan Henderson, Van Dijk, Matip, who else? Fabinho. They're all leaders. You know, the men, the real men, real man's team. And as he said, there's going to be a lot of players disappointed here, and that's down to the manager, really. I always remember Sir Alex saying the hardest part of his job, when it got to the end of the season, is leaving really good players, top players out of big games. And this manager's got the same to deal with. But it's down to people like Jordan who can go and realise that one of the lads is upset, one of them's a bit down. Would he then cause a little bit of trouble in the squad? And I think it's up to them characters then to make sure that they don't do that. And Liverpool have got that type of character, that type of leader in abundance.
Yeah, we often talk about characters, and sometimes it's just a throwaway line, or they've got characters. You cannot emphasise enough how those characters affect a dressing room, and Liverpool have got them in abundance at the moment. Some players lead from the front; they're just their performances, the way they conduct themselves. But sometimes you need players that look out for each other as well. I mean, personally, I was always one that thought myself, and then if I was on top of my game, then I'd think, oh, actually, I'm probably in a comfortable position now, I can help someone else. Someone like Jordan Henderson, he's thinking of others before himself. He's just as happy if somebody else has a good game as he has. So, you need that type. And I thought it was a great question from Scholes in terms of how he's managed that. Because I'm sure if you brought Jurgen Klopp out here and you say, he'll say, well, I need the likes of Jordan Henderson, James Milner. They do half of my job for me. And I think that's a really important thing. Listen, it's easy when you're winning. Everything's perfect when you're winning. But to get to winning, you need characters like that.
And they're a dying breed, as you keep telling me, in the modern game, aren't they?
Well, when you look at Manchester United, they are, without a shadow of a doubt. City probably have 2 or 3 as well. And say the best teams always have them types of characters, the likes of Jordan Henderson. They're just brilliant to have around the place. And as Michael said, it's a great point. They do the manager's job for them. They're the ones around the dressing room. They're setting the tone, setting the standards on the training pitch, around the training ground. Whenever people are disappointed not being in the team, make sure they're not too disruptive of a team, because you can get characters like that, Dave. They go in a mood. We had loads of them, and he's right, because everyone's disappointed when you're not playing. But he's got 20 players here Jurgen Klopp to choose from, and whatever team he plays, it's a strong team. It's a really strong team. We mentioned before the game tonight, Michael said, if this was Champions League final tonight, that would be his team tonight. And you still look at the players on the bench, you think of what Jota's done. Brilliant. Firmino's not even in the squad tonight. It's a brilliant squad of players, and it's something to be, if you're from Manchester, a little bit jealous of.
It's true, yeah. And this is a great time, a great period of time. Then obviously the next challenge, and listen, this team isn't done, far from it, but it's got 3-4 years of this team. You look at Van Dijk's and Milner's and Henderson's probably less so, but Van Dijk's and Fabinho's and Salah's and Mane's and Firmino's and all those players, they're all sort of 29, 30. So this team's probably got a cycle of another 3 years, maybe, top level. Then they're going to have to start thinking of the next thing, which they've already done, of course, bringing in the likes of Jota, the likes of Diaz, players like that. But, that's a long-term thing as well that they've got to keep thinking of.
Steve McManaman's back with us. What did you make of all that tonight?
Brilliant if you're a Liverpool fan. Quite depressing if you're a Manchester United fan. Didn't know how to play a 5 at the back. They mustn't have practiced enough because they got caught out right from the off.
We had one day.
One day, exactly, yeah. Well, that's what it looked like, Scholes, didn't it? Yeah. Feel sorry for this gentleman next to me having to talk about it and have to comment about it, because the first half, Manchester United in 5th place, Liverpool were in 2nd before the game. The gap looked as if they could have been in 55th place. I mean, it was really a chasing and experience, wasn't it? They hardly got a touch of the ball. They hardly got a touch of the ball in Liverpool's penalty area, let alone a shot on target. Better in the second half because they went full at the back and put a couple more attackers on. But I thought the first half was... I thought Liverpool were excellent, but I think Liverpool benefited from Manchester United not having a clue how to play.
And apart from this season, obviously, where we saw the 5-0, I think that's their biggest win at Anfield in the Premier League era as well. Is that the most alarming gap you've seen between these two teams in recent times?
Yeah, it's not positionally, not even points-wise, but
on the pitch, quality-wise.
On the pitch, quality-wise. I think we all expected it before the game. But sometimes this tie, or normally this tie, there's more aggression, there's more, it's very hectic, the atmosphere is very volatile and noisy, and there's more aggression and people are running around firing into each other and not letting anybody have time on the ball. Well, that was completely the opposite today. It looked as if a team on the up and one that was very, very low in confidence, and it's not really fun to go on about it, because you want them to be better. You wanted it to be more of a competition today, to show what they're made of, and there wasn't enough people running around in a Manchester United shirt, which is criminal, really, because if there's one thing you should be able to do if you're not good enough and you haven't got the quality, is you run and you work hard and you fight and you throw yourself into tackles and you make it more of a competition. I think nobody kicked anybody until about the 88th minute, which was alarming in itself in a game of this magnitude.
I was going to ask the same question there, Mac, and probably best to ask Scholes, because he used to do it more often than me and you. But on a serious note, actually changing the course of a game by doing something like that. I mean, I know people will say this lad mistimed a few, but half the time you do it on purpose, just to get your players, just get the fans, just to change the course of something.
Well, you see Thiago in the first half, he's flicking passes, he's doing this, he's stepping over the ball, he's backflip. Someone has to, you don't want anybody to get injured, of course, but someone has to go and give him a kick and say, stop doing that on a game like this. But there was nothing. No one could get anywhere near anybody.
Scholesy, come on.
I'm trying not to get angry. I'm just trying to relax. I feel sad, but it's true. I don't want to go back to what we'd have done in our day, but you look at Thiago, he's completely dictating the play. He's taking the mickey almost. But that's just the way he plays. He's not doing that on purpose. That's just the way he plays football. He's brilliant at it. But as a player, as an experienced player, Nemanja Matic, how experienced is he? Harry Maguire. Say to your young lad, say to Jesse Lingard, just get against him.
Yeah.
Don't let him have the ball. You don't have to boot him. Ideally, you like to let him know that he's there. Of course you will. But don't let him dictate play like he was today. And surely that has to come from your manager as well.
Yeah, well, I'm the same
as you. That's a tactic from your manager.
If you've got one player who's standing out and running the game, you just say to him for 5 minutes, go and stand on him and don't let him have a kick of the ball. Just do something to change the flow of the game. Otherwise, we're just going to be back to the wall all the time.
But do you know what, Mackin? You should know that coming to Anfield.
Shouldn't be a surprise.
Has the United staff never seen Thiago play before? He's done this for years and years under Pep Guardiola at Barcelona. He's done it at Bayern Munich. He's doing it now for Liverpool. Have you not seen him? Have you not seen the strengths of this team? Coming to Anfield is all about stopping them. Forget what you can do. You're never going to play brilliant football and create loads of chances. You've got to come and stop them. You've got to stop the crowd, and you've got to stop their most dangerous players. And there was just never a plan to do that. You almost go man for man. I think if we'd have come here as our team, we'd have had Fletcher on the right-hand side against Robertson. We'd have played Ji-Sung Park or Wayne Rooney on the left-hand side, because them two are brilliant. And we'd have had someone right against Thiago. OK, Jordan Henderson and Fabinho, good players, but they're not going to create and control the game like Thiago can. So you've got to stop their threats. It's all about coming here. It's stopping Liverpool. Forget yourselves. And there was never a plan to do that, Steve.
Well, let's hear from the man who did try and put a plan together. His first ever managerial meeting with Liverpool. He's lost it 4-0. Here's Ralf Rangnick. Honest Ralf Rangnick there. We'll get some reactions to that in the moment. These are the match stats that Paul was alluding to. Just one attempt on target for Manchester United. They ended up with 28 possession. Now listen, total passes for Liverpool, 879. I'm reliably informed since data began in 2003. That is the fourth most of any Premier League game that Liverpool have played tonight. 879 passes. Touches in the opposition box for Manchester United, 9. When you look at those stats and when you hear a very honest Ralf Rangnick,
he is honest, Stephen, especially in these big games. He's probably a little bit too honest, but their stats, from watching the game, they don't surprise you. Manchester United never laid a finger on any one of their players at any time. They were allowed to do what they want. I wouldn't be fooled by the first 20 minutes or 25 minutes, as he said, of the second half. Liverpool were bored. It was too easy. they just needed more motivation. Really. They brought Jota on to really step it up again, and they went and scored whenever they wanted to. So I wouldn't be fooled by that. Look, the motivation thing, United weren't up for it. It's difficult to take that.
Well, the supporters will come back and say,
well,
what...
Steve, yeah, exactly. They should be up for any game of football.
Yeah.
You're playing for Manchester United, whether it's Liverpool away or Watford away, whoever it might be. But again, you need motivation from your coach. Sometimes you play that many games, and sometimes it might just be a few words for your manager. Think, yeah, right, here we go again. You've got to step yourself up. You've got to be ready for the challenge of playing a proper football team. And they just looked bereft of ideas. They looked lost. They looked unenthusiastic. They just looked like a group of players that were flat. And there's a lot of experience in that team. A lot of experience.
Do you think they honestly believed they started the game like they believed they could get any kind of result tonight?
They were like every fan. They was like everyone from Manchester, everyone I spoke to, coming here tonight expecting 4-0 was probably a result. We thought, yeah, it could easily happen. But we was probably hoping for 1 or 2. And that is a sad place where United fans are in. Everybody, probably Liverpool people as well, they probably look and think, yes, this should be comfortable tonight. And it was comfortable. Liverpool, they could go and play another game tomorrow morning. It was so easy. We could have played for Liverpool today. It was just so easy. There was just a lack of real fighting spirit, which is sad for the club. I feel sorry for the football club. I feel sorry for the fans. It's in a really bad place, and we need to forget about moaning about it all the time. We need to try and find a way to get it back where it should be now. Getting a proper coach will help. Of course it will.
They need to finish fourth, I think, mate, don't they, as well this year? If they can. It's going to be hard, but if they can, they need to jump into the Champions League. That will really help them.
You just can't see it on that performance game.
Not on that, no.
Arsenal, you're going down there, you think.
The thing is today...
And Arsenal aren't a great team.
And then Chelsea straight after as well.
Chelsea, they're 2 games they're going to lose.
What surprised me today was that you knew how Liverpool were going to play today. You knew what the team was going to be to a certain point. Henderson, Fabinho, and how they play from the back. Because if you've done your homework, you know how Liverpool have been using Alisson to play through and knock it off. We all knew what they were going to do, and they couldn't stop it. The way they just plays out through the middle from the goalkeeper all the time. And someone has to say, right, that's enough now. We can't just keep getting caught like this. We either drop back into a shape or we press properly. But nobody pressed. They sort of went and then jogged over there and then jogged back over there. But actually nobody went with any vigour to close down and smash into somebody. See Liverpool closing down when they were 3-0 and 4-0 up. Yeah. Every time they lost the ball, they just went and hunted it back. And I swear they got it back after 2 seconds. But United didn't. United knew what they were going to do and actually couldn't stop them at all. And that was the most disappointing part about it.
OK, let's continue the Manchester United chat in a moment after we've got some reaction from inside the dressing room. Here are the thoughts of Bruno Fernandes. Getting back to Paul's point about looking forward, I know it's complicated, but do you feel if they could announce the new manager, if it is going to be Erik ten Hag, as soon as possible, that prevent this season from filtering away, that there's some clarity at least for the players who are going to be here at United next season?
Definitely, I think it will help. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the main thing that they need now, because listen, United have gone through this process of buying great players for years and years and years. Look how much they've spent. Look how many great players they've had that have turned average overnight. As soon as you put on that red shirt at the moment, your performance level goes down 10-20%. Everybody. I can't think of one player over the last 5-10 years that Manchester United have signed that is actually better than when they signed them. I mean, it's unbelievable, the fall off in performance. The confidence just drains out of every player. So I think getting the right manager is an absolute must to start with. Before you start throwing 100 millions at it again, getting the right manager is a must. I mean, the big worry that I'd have if I was a Manchester United fan is when Ralph Rangnick was asked before about are they trying, he didn't really say. He had the easiest opportunity to say absolutely they're trying, absolutely, it's just a lack of quality or whatever. He didn't even answer the question. That's the accusation now, and it is the worst accusation that you could have.
So what does that tell you internally then?
Well, look, when Liverpool lose the ball, it is an instant. The lads just touched on it a minute ago. In an instant, their attitude is do anything, run, get the ball back instantly. I'd love to see the running stats tonight. Manchester United Liverpool give the ball away. Liverpool take chances in the final third. They give the ball away all the time. But their attitude to getting it back straight away is just different.
So where does that attitude come from?
Well, the manager has to come from up top, and you can't just say, all right, we're going to do it today. It's every single day in training. You've got to respect your manager, you've got to respect the coaches, you've got to buy into every single thing that they say, and then you've got to do it. It's got to become second nature. Manchester United, when they lose the ball, are an absolute disgrace. They don't run and win it back. As I say, I'd love to see the running stats today, because they haven't put in as much effort as Liverpool, no question.
Yeah, I totally agree with Michael. We need to stop seeing these apologies. All the fans want, all everybody want who's ever been associated with the club, is that players try the best. I didn't see in that first half players trying the best. They looked just like a flat, energyless group of players that, do you know what? They didn't look like they wanted to be on the pitch. They didn't look like they wanted to be on the football pitch, which is, it's sad for a place this club have come, and they've still got a great chance of finishing in the top four. The 3 points outside the top four against a Tottenham team who you just never know what you're going to get.
But you're saying they're just like a mid-table team with nothing to play for kind of thing.
They look worse than a mid-table team tonight. That was embarrassing. I remember watching Watford a couple of weeks ago. Created chances. Looked like they could have scored goals. United didn't. They offered nothing to the game of football going forward. Now look, going forward, you're looking at a new manager. Will a new manager make such a big difference to this group of players? He'll need help. I think he'll need help upstairs as well. He needs to have a man upstairs in between him and the owners,
like
whoever it is.
Here with Michael Edwards.
Yeah, to have a man who knows football, knows what he's talking about. You look back at Sir Alex Ferguson, he wasn't a coach, he was a manager. He managed men, he managed upstairs. He almost did everything. Head of recruitment, he was a sporting director. He was everything in one. Now these young coaches like Ten Hag's a young coach, relatively young coach, they need help with that. They need people upstairs that they can go to, they can have a link to. I think he's got Edwin van der Sar now with him at Ajax, which is a great...
And he had Mark Overmars.
Yeah. Mark Overmars, well, great footballing people who know what a football club's all about, and to look after a football team, he needs that. I think they've declined to have a sporting director, haven't they, for such a long time now. I think if they bring a new young manager in, I think they desperately need one.
Yeah, they don't have to call him a sporting director, do they? As long as he just gives them some help, that's all. That's all there is. Michael Edwards here, or Julian Ward, when he takes over it, which he's virtually done now, he's not classed as a sporting director, he's just a man behind the scenes who...
But the difference here is, Maka, they have a certain identity, a certain player that they go for to fit into a system, and that's Michael's point over the years about Manchester United.
That's what the new manager needs to bring. He's got a way of playing at Ajax, what he does. If he comes in and does the same type of thing, then he needs to have the man that understands that with him as well.
And they need patience.
What type of player they need, rather than your Galactica
He needs to concentrate on what is going on the football pitch and the training pitch. He doesn't need to worry about that. And if he's got that link with the football knowledge, like I say, I keep saying Edwin, what he's brought to Ajax, what Mark Overmars brought to Ajax, it's something that I think he needs, that bridge in between the both.
Liverpool at the moment, no matter who they sign, people keep saying, Diaz is coming, he looks, and I've said it, looks fantastic straight away. They buy Jota, looks fantastic. Every single player they sign fits into this team like a glove straight away. Exactly, but one, it's the type of player you buy, I get that, but two, it's as soon as you're bought into this, we just spoke to Jordan Henderson before, there's 25 all pull in the same direction, all when the ball is lost they do this, they do that. It's virtually impossible to not be a successful signing at the moment. On the opposite side of the fence, if you're a Manchester United player, I don't care whether Messi signs tomorrow, his performance level is going to go down. It's virtually impossible to be signed at Manchester United at the moment and become a better player. The whole thing is rotten, so that needs to, and as soon as that tide starts to turn, then of course you can get some momentum. But at the minute, right from the top, as the lads are saying, through to the manager, it's just a shambles, and then it reflects on the pitch as well.
Okay, plenty of time between now and the end of the season to continue the Manchester United chat, because the other side of the story tonight for Liverpool is they have gone to the top of the Premier. Liverpool had only been top of the league in the Premier League for 9 days before tonight, but they're back there tonight. 2-point advantage over the champions Manchester City, who of course face Brighton tomorrow. Let's get the thoughts then tonight of the Liverpool boss, Jurgen Klopp. It was emotional 7 minutes inside Anfield here tonight to hear both sets of supporters combine for that minute's applause. After 5 minutes, that's all that Manchester United lasted, as we said to Jordan Henderson. Congratulations to this man as well. Fabinho has joined us live pitch side. Very well done. How good does that feel to put in a performance like that and against Manchester United?
It's always good to win against Man United, and with this performance today was, if not a perfect game, is almost perfect. The intensity we put with the ball, the quality we had. We create a lot of chances. Defensively, we were really solid. I don't remember if they had really good chances to score a goal. And yes, I think for our team, for our fans, it's really important to win a big game like this.
And as we've just been discussing, the way you started the game, right on the front foot, you got a goal after 5 minutes, 2 after 20. How do you keep doing that with the energy and intensity?
It's not always easy to play game after game like this. But when we arrived to the stadium, the ambience outside was unbelievable from the fans. And games like this, you want to play good in front of your fans. And here at Anfield, is always special. So in this moment of the season, it's always important to win games, to win every 3 days the 3 points. And yes, I think the way we started the game with the intensity, the counter press was really good. And this is us, so we want to play every game like this. It's not always possible, but we will try everything to put a performance like this.
We speak about intensity, and of course we can all see what happens when you have the ball, but how important is it when you lose the ball and you win it back so fast?
It's always important to the reaction, and this is our style to play. Our counter press is always good, and today was unbelievable. I could see some of the players, their reaction, like Hendo and Thiago, the front three as well, their reaction were really good. And when you recover the ball in the offensive part of the field, it's always dangerous for the opponent. So yes, and when you had the ball, we were patient. We work with the ball with quality, and then create chances and score the goals.
Fabinho, we were just halfway through showing the goals, actually. We'll show you 3-0 and 4-0 because Mane's finish.
Well done.
Thank you.
Just keep on going. Every game.
And talking of which, it's now over to City tomorrow.
And Brighton are in good form, but you still expect Manchester City to do what Manchester City are always doing, can't they, and winning games. I fully expect them to win games. No disrespect to Brighton, who have beaten Tottenham and Arsenal, of course, over the last couple of weeks. It's just that every time I see City and Liverpool, I just think they're going to win games, unfortunately.
And where are you putting your money now? Are you still thinking that City aren't going to slip up? Or
I just can't believe the position Liverpool are in. Not just the way they're playing, not just that they've won something already and they're involved in 3 other or in the latter stages, but how fit their team are, how everybody's fit, everyone's confident. They just couldn't be in a better position. I think they're going to win 3 out of the 4 personally. I still think Manchester City are the favourites for that one.
Because you've been in this situation at this stage of the season when you've got momentum. Sometimes you're not even playing well and you're still winning games. What does that feel like?
That's right. I think that's a big strength in top class. I think Liverpool over the last couple, I don't think they've been great at times.
No.
They've been brilliant times. I don't think they're great at times, but they still win games. I think potentially tomorrow night for City could be a difficult game. We say Brighton are in form. Be interested to see how they react from Saturday, because they were really disappointed, especially second half. They looked a tired team, and sometimes it's not always easy to come back from that. So I think it'd be interesting tomorrow night. If they get through that, then I expect again a little bit of momentum to build. You can see both teams winning every game, which then, of course, would give City the lead.
Like a couple of years ago, yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your company. Michael, Paul and Macca tonight. We've been with you from Anfield all evening. This race is here for this trophy for everyone to enjoy. It is City's turn next, but boy, did Liverpool do the job tonight emphatically. See you soon.